I have more download information about energy and how it works. Now, I've shared this in a few videos because I got a download in a lucid state and it really expanded me into a completely different way of looking at it. However, probably not a surprise to you, I'm going to talk about what we're going to go into more in 2024 and beyond, why it's critical, and what I'm going to tell you is going to make sense regarding that. Are you ready for this? This is going to be really interesting. We're talking about the expansive energy field, how it's operating, the intelligence of it, and how it's affecting everything out here. Oh yeah, this is deep stuff. You ready? Let's go. Welcome to Landria on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I'm getting ready for my CrossFit class, and I thought that I would share this because I got this information. It's like, wait. There was a correction in what I was saying. Now, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, which means it has to be one thing. It has to be one thing. It can't be operating independently. It can't. It can appear to and be everything, but it is still one energy. Now, here's what I want to share with you. And by the way, please subscribe. Please support my channel because I'm going to give more and more information, and I want to be able to do this. And just this alone will help support me, and I have some really cool stuff for you coming up. Are you ready? Energy is one thing. It's actually everything. It's just the intelligence. Let's call it the intelligence. When we say energy, we think about something separate that fuels something, or it does, but it's also the thing it fuels. It's the rock that appears to be sitting there. It's everything. So let's call it the hyperintelligence. I say hyper because it's beyond what we can comprehend. And here's what I want you to know, and this was the correction that I got. Everything's one thing happening, not separately or simultaneously. We say that because it appears to. That's the illusion, so that we can separate activities and cause and effect and learn here. We compartmentalize it when it's actually all connected. So that means everything happening is affecting everything else. Now, here's what I want to correct. I want to make sure that you understand. When I do something and it affects you, it affects the ultimate metaverses and beyond, because there's no limits to it. I mean, there's no limits to anything. It doesn't affect you and me and everything else as something that travels there and happens. It just happens. When I have a thought, the whole intelligent energy field happens. Instantaneously. It doesn't travel. Nothing travels. Even time travel is an illusion appearing that way, when actually everything has already happened. Every probability exists, past, present, and future. I know, okay, this is really out there. All right, now hear me out on this one. When you take a photon and you split it, which scientists have done, and they shoot it out, I think it's 6 miles, completely separate locations. Whatever they do to this one, it's reacting at the exact same time. So the question is like, oh, that information's getting transferred immediately. No, it's actually not. It already is the information. It never really was separated. You ready for that? You ready for this? It was never separated. It's impossible to separate anything because we're just one thing. And so if we're the one energy field, everything within it, no matter what it experiences, isn't really separate. It can't be. So therefore, absolutely everything is affected by every decision that's made within it. And I am the same intelligent field making decisions about my life as you are in yours. And everything that I do is happening to you. Everything that you think about that homeless person or that jerk or that narcissist that we separate ourselves from, we actually are that. That is me, not the person. That's me, the energy field. That's also me that appears to be a separate me. I have to think of myself as a separate me, because if I really knew that, I couldn't separate the experiences like we do here in a material, slow, dense world. Now, I have experienced being the other person before. I have experienced being myself, watching myself. That was the freakiest one I ever had. I wasn't asleep, by the way. I was with other beings too, and talking to them. I also experienced seeing, this has happened a couple times, looking at somebody and knowing I was looking at me. No matter what that person looked like, I knew I was looking at myself. I no longer felt like I was Landria and that person was Bob or Sally. I didn't feel that. I looked at that person and we were one thing. We were one mind. Yeah, I saw the two bodies, but I didn't relate to that. I knew that that was just a creation, an illusion. I was the mind that animates all of that, including that person. And I had this absolute perfect stranger that was came out and was, directing traffic, and I had that out of body. Well, it wasn't really out of body. It was just connection to all mind, and I knew I was that. I was that person. I almost saw through their eyes. And so this is what we are. We're going into an era where we're going to recognize it and we're going to explore it. So we're going to stop fighting and arguing and separating and judging, and we're going to start exploring that which we are, because we know it, and now we're going to go into that. Let's see what that is. How do we access that? It starts with getting out of the way. The ego that separates us, that has a belief. Now, I teach breakthrough fear. You guys have, come over to my class. And if you haven't purchased Breakthrough Fear yet, I suggest you do. I've had so many emails coming over. I mean, dozens of emails of people saying it blew their mind, and they had to read it again. Somebody's drilling. I hope that you can't hear that. So I would like you to read it, because I actually talk about this. Now, once you go into, so this is the important part of what I'm going to tell you. Once you read this information and you start to comprehend what I'm telling you right now, and you actually open yourself up to this possibility, you now shifted the entire field. Just opening yourself up to it shifts the entire field, shifts the frequency, expands us again. We go into expansion. Just the consideration expands. So one source is in expansion. It expands. It's knowing everything. It's going, the universes are traveling, well, I should say, the galaxy are traveling away from us faster than the speed of light. We're in expansion. And that means any thought that goes into expansion takes us, shifts us into something much more massive and unlimited, which is what we are. We're just experiencing that. And we can't experience expansion unless we have limitations, which is the matrix illusion creates limitations so that we can do expansion. And then we have universes and galaxies that expand, and we have stars that explode and expand, and then they go back and contract again into contraction to no expansion again, and they go into other things. That's what we're doing. Isn't this exciting? We are experiencing expansion in the most dense way. How do we, by the way, this is a master school. I start to enjoy this. We are experiencing these limitations so that we can, boom, expand into unlimitless self within density. That's a huge challenge. How can I be expansive and unlimited in a dense body? We're in two different forms, right? That are actually one, experiencing that as itself in every experience, as itself, as an energy field that's dense, that is actually the creator of itself. Is this a little out there? I'm fine with that. But I did have to correct this Nothing happens that is transferred. Nothing transfers. That's an appearance in a dense world. That's the illusion part. It's actually one thing happening. And that's the first thing in my book that I say. Everything's one thing happening. Not simultaneously. Everything's just one thing happening. Isn't that cool? We're going into this 2024. I'm going to talk more about it because I'm getting a lot of information on that. And so all these things that happen are always experiences for expansion, 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 higher choices, higher choices. That's all it is. Don't judge. We're looking at the thing. Who did this and who did what, and this shouldn't be happening, and vote for so-and-so, and we're going to protect ourselves. It's impossible. It's impossible. There's nothing to protect. So what are we going to do now? We are going to look at my opportunity to expand, What can I do? What choices? What higher thoughts? Everything has to do with higher thoughts, higher thoughts, higher thoughts. You got to catch yourself every moment. What am I thinking? Am I limiting myself? Am I judging? Am I separating? Am I blaming? What about the narcissist? What about the narcissist? You're looking at yourself, right? We're looking at ourselves. What about us? Judging the narcissist. That's equally low basement thinking. You're not basement material. No. You're up in the penthouse. I know you are. You know the basement exists. So the basement doesn't know the penthouse exists. The penthouse knows the basement exists because it's been there. It progressed. And so that's why the low density thinkers haven't come into consciousness yet. They're just as awakened as everybody else. They're just experiencing that. Because they don't know this exists. So once you know this exists and you're there, now I know what that is. It's contrast. It's contrast. You loving this? I love this stuff. I love it. This is like beyond quantum physics, because there's no rules. Quantum physics places rules on things. There aren't any. Everything just is. Yeah. Every law is just an illusion. Because every time you find a law, I'll show you somewhere that breaks it. Why? Because these are illusions creating limitation. They're all self-created limitations to experience expansion and contrast. That's all it is. Expand, expand, experience. You ready for this? Because we're going to go into something so amazing. If you go into this, if you even consider it, you just expanded the universe and beyond. You just took us to a new level with that one thought. One thought. You ready? We're going to go into this more and more and more because you can transform your life. Things will happen to you that you're thinking, whoa, that was bizarre. Then you realize, no, it's not. Because all things are possible. I just have to know that. And then the doorway opens for you. I hope you'll subscribe. Free videos. Digital Explorers is out. It is a planet-friendly online training system. You know how we start? We start with the creation station at the base of the mountain, just like we do in the pyramid. We go up the mountainside. You start here, but our bottom creation station, before we even go to base camp, is where you create what really means something to you. You create the thing that you want to do, that you're passionate about. You find that passion. We take you into the purpose of it. Then we find the positive impact it's going to have on others, because everything you do will affect and should affect others. It does. So we have to choose wisely. And then we go to base camp. Base camp, we create a whole multiple revenue streams that revolve around that. Those principles. Try and find that anywhere on the internet. Nope, you won't. Not quite like this. And everything we do is planet friendly, sustainable. And I have digital Sherpas that help you build it. Yeah, then we go to Explore and Summit. It's pretty darn cool. And everything is about creating that new amazing world. It starts with you. I can't wait to see you there. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.